Sonia, let's go. Congratulations on the practice. So I'm going to quickly show you. So inversion practice is quite it's quite boring, and the reason I know this is because that's what I had to do at Berklee. They forced us to do it, but the problem with the inversion practice that I found, for me, it could be different for everyone because some people love sitting there for an hour doing it. What I would do is I would practice the inversions, and then I would only be practicing inversions, and then I would do the exam, and I would get an A in the exam, and I'd crush the exam, and then I would never think about inversions again unless I really needed to. And so that didn't help me, especially when I was becoming more professional and wanting to apply it musically. So the trick that I found for myself, it was something that one of my guitar professors mentioned to me in passing. It wasn't like he was like, "Oh, let's work on all the inversions." He was like, "Oh man, don't waste your time practicing inversions. What we want to do is you want to practice playing songs in different positions, but locking yourself in a position so it forces you to use the inversions." So say, for instance, I want to play, let's just do a basic song that like Slow Dancing in a Burning Room, right? So that's like a 6 chord and then a 4 and to a 1. That's the whole progression. It's just like that. 4, 1 in the key of E. So right there, you're seeing I'm spanning, I'm going from the 5th fret to the 12th fret, really, is what I'm doing right now. But if I was like, Luan, let's get better at our inversions, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, I'm going to pick a section. So I'll be like, okay, Luan, from this section here, and you want to make it small, maybe like the max width of like 4 frets. And so what I would do is I would go from the 9th fret here and until the 12th fret, and I'd be like, okay, I have to play a 6 chord here, and then I have to play a 4 chord somewhere here. And so, for instance, the easiest way for me is I use the cage system, but you can figure out however you've been practicing your inversions. So my 4 chord exists right here. That's the root note of the 4 chord. So I can go, I've got that inversion right there, or I could do this inversion here, or I could do like the straight. And so if I'm playing that chord, I've got my 6 chord. And then if I want to play a 1, it's right here, because that's right. That's my chord shape right there. I'm playing a second inversion 1 chord right there. So I've got. And then if I want to change that up and be like, okay, let's do it over here on the 5th fret. And so I'm like, okay, well, I need to find a 6 chord. So where's my 6 chord going to be? So that's that C sharp minor. So I know I've got my C sharp over here. So I've got it right here. So we're going to go. And now I need to find a 1 chord, which is right here. Which is pretty much the same inversion as doing a minor 7 chord. So, see what I mean? Like, I wouldn't think of like going, but what will bring it out even more is once you get into like 7th intervals and stuff like that, Sonia, it's going to be like, so say, for instance, I was in that position. I was like, okay, cool. I've got my minor 7 chord here. So, and then I've got my 4 major 7 chord. I can do that with a 9 on top of it. I'm just being fancy right now. But it can't be as simple as going minor 7 chord, 6 minor 7, to a 4 major, just a 4 major. That's just doing the triad. So root, 3rd, 5th. And then I'm going to be going over to playing the 1 chord, which I could do like a C shape, or I could just be 3rd, 5th root. Or if I want to be really cool, I could go. So that would work too. So we do like a. Then I got a major 7. So I've got my root 3rd, 5th, 7. Ooh. That's pretty cool. And so that will unlock a lot of the fretboard for you, which is like weird because you're kind of constricting yourself in one spot. But because you're playing musically and you're learning to think musically, you're learning how to connect these, inversion ideas musically. And that's the only time it really matters, because otherwise, you could practice your inversions up and down the neck, which is a fantastic exercise to do for a small period of time. So if you're going to say you're going to give yourself, I only have 10 minutes today to practice. Well, then, maybe for 1 minute or 2 minutes of your practice, you're going to be refresh your brain on okay, this is how a triad looks using the D string to the B string. And how do I set that triad up? And do that for 2 minutes just to get refreshed on the shape of it. And then jump into music and then see if you can isolate different notes. And you can do that anywhere on the fretboard. You just pick a fret and be all right, can I play the song using only the 1st and the 4th fret? Or can I play a song using only the 3rd and the 7th fret? And there's no rules. It's just what gets you the result. And can you be creative with, the different positions? And what that will do is later on, so say for instance, I am playing slow dancing in a burning room and I'm jamming over it, it's going to help a lot, especially later on for improvising, because you'll know where the chords are at all times, because I'll know that I'm hanging out here, 6 chord, and I got a 4 chord and a 1. And then if I want to do 6 chord, 4 chord, and then back to my 1, 6 chord, and then I got my 4 chord, and then my 1. And then my 4 back to the 1. 6 chord there. And then 4, and then back to 1. And so, that's me just moving up in these sections, and you can see it's quite fancy. But I wouldn't know how to be able to navigate that area quite cleanly if I didn't just take the time to, try it and try and map out oh, okay, cool, there is a minor. That's my 6th triad right there. I got that. And then I've also got my 4 triad here and my 4 triad over here. But I found where they sit musically. Anyway, that's the long-winded answer. Hopefully that helps you, and keep up the practice. And like I said, this is just another way to do it. It's my hack that helped me get much better. You don't have to do it, because I know lots of teachers really want you to just sit there and, it definitely fills the time sitting there doing triad practice. But I really want to hear you play music. If you're going to be sitting here for a long time messing with triads and learning inversions, you might as well be playing lots of songs, because then you'll be working the muscle of playing music while learning inversions. And it might be slower, for a fraction, you might be slower at picking up all of the quick inversions. But in the long term, by the time you're super comfortable with the inversions, you would have played 5, 10, 20 songs, and you would be oh my gosh, I can do this. I can navigate the fretboard. The fretboard is so much more open for me now. Anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So hopefully that helps you. And keep up the practice inside the practice room. It's so nice to see you jumping in and sharing some of your practice journey. So, and especially because I'm a big fan of you, because you're awesome. Anyway, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next post. Let's go.